Well, good morning. So today we're on the last of the seven principles. Remember the seven principles for making marriage work, a book by John Gottman. And the seventh principle is the idea of create shared meaning. So he's basically saying that in a great relationship, you want to go deeper. Marriage is not just about having kids and working and making love, but he says the more shared meaning you can find, the deeper, richer, and more rewarding your relationship will be. Along the way, you'll also be strengthening your marital friendship. This in turn will make it even easier to cope with any conflicts that crop up. That's the beauty of the seven principles. They form a feedback loop that ensures that as you work on each principle, it becomes easier to work on the others. And he identifies sort of four critical mainstays of shared meaning. And then he offers readers like a questionnaire, how are you doing? And at the end of the chapter, a little exercise on using the four pillars, these four pillars to create meaning. And these questionnaires then are not, they're not supposed to be filled out in a day or even a month, but they form the starting point for discussions, ongoing discussions for the rest of your life, because as time goes on, things change. And hopefully the dialogue continues. But the four pillars he talks about, the four pillars of shared meaning, the first one is rituals of connection. And he says a ritual is a structured event or routine that you each enjoy and depend on that both reflects and reinforces your sense of togetherness. So it could be about birthdays or celebrations, but it could be something as simple as everyday life of having meals together at night. But certain rituals and to develop those. Pillar number two is support for each other's roles. And he says, for example, having similar views about parenting. For example, the values you consider important to pass on your children also adds to a marriage's meaning. And he says, to the extent that you feel similarly about this or any other issue, your marriage will be strengthened. All right, so support for each other's roles. Third one, shared goals. And he says, not only will you increase the intimacy of your marriage by sharing your deepest objectives with your spouse, but to the extent that you work together to achieve shared goals, they can be a path toward making your union even richer. So again, the idea is to share your deepest desires. What are your goals for your relationship, for yourself personally, but also for maybe your family or the two of you? And he says this, I didn't write it in the blog, but the key is to be able to talk to each other about that in a safe way. And again, that comes back for me to the safety that you have to learn to talk to each other in a safe way. And then the fourth one, pillar number 4, is shared values and symbols. Values and belief form the final pillar of shared meaning in a marriage. These are philosophical tenets that guide how you wish to conduct your lives. For some people, values are deeply rooted in religious conviction, but couples who are not religious may also have a belief system that determines their perspective on life and informs the choices they make. So the fourth pillar is shared values and symbols. So there you have it. Those are the 7 pillars for making marriage work. And I would recommend the book to anybody who's interested in creating a deeply satisfying relationship. John Gottman, The 7 Principles for Making Marriage Work. Okay? Have a great week. One more, next week I'll share something from Harville and Helen, Harville Hendricks and his wife, Helen. And then I think I'll take a break for a couple of weeks over the holidays. The kids are coming, and we'll get back in the new year. Okay? See you next week. Cheers.